we are in
Deep breaths. Santa Barbara, California. California, deep breaths. Interview.
in the bowels of the Santa Barbara Bowl.
That's like beehole talk. No, Santa Barbara's a beautiful place.
That's what you say when you're in
Santa Barbara,
place.
Santa
That's
Barbara
kind of
Bowl,
scary.
Beautiful venue, one of the best venues in the country.
It's beautiful.
Oh, show.
So I've been trying to get this guy for an interview. Finally did it. Middle of Reb's set. He's like, "Do you want to do it?" I was like, "Let's do it." So here we are. Second night of a 2-night show. Beginning of the second leg of the Good Vibes summer tour. You're with Revolution. You're with Iration. You're with Pacifier.
We are.
A lot going on for you, for everyone. You released an album June 23rd. Love it, and I'm not just saying that. I'm really not. I like it.
I believe you.
I love it, actually.
I don't believe most people, but I believe you.
I have a track record of being painfully honest.
Noted.
It's really good. Your features are awesome. Little Stranger kills it.
Agreed.
Your lovely TM amp kills it. TM/rapper.
Don't blow smoke up his ass just because he's recording it.
I'm not. It's one of my favorite songs. I think you picked really good features. Is my point.
We originally released that song pre-COVID, and then the world fell apart.
Yes.
And then
kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah. When we put the album together, we had always talked about doing a feature, and we got Little Stranger on Homewrecker, and he did that track in about an hour. His turnaround was like that, and our good buddy Amp was like, "I just don't have time to do a feature." And I was like, and Adam's like, "Little Stranger turn on hour, man. If you don't want to be on the track, don't be on the track." And that lit a fire under him. And then he came back to me the next day with a fucking amazing take. He nailed it.
Amazing.
And I think he really elevated Lives and Loves from where it was the pre-COVID track to now the post-COVID track on the album, where it's got his feature, and I think it turned out really great.
It did. So it's kind of a lot going on lyrically. I feel like someone in the band might be going through something. Some of the tracks are like, especially Homewrecker, burned. Not for me, because I'm not a homewrecker, but I can see how it would. Also, Doomy, it's kind of like hurt feeling vibes too, and it's like,
yeah. And I think that some of the tracks you mentioned, those two specifically, were actually not of personal experience. They were just creative ideas.
Yeah, okay.
So they were not something that were going...
Even.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of just like relationship turmoil. And it's like, you're happily married, so it's like, okay, I know it's not you.
So what it is like, I won't speak for everyone else in the band, but for me, when I write guitar stuff every day. When I write something with lyrics, it's almost always a catharsis for me. Like, it's always a purge of some kind. So I want to write sometimes positive, happy songs, but usually if I'm putting pen to the pad, it's typically I need to get something out.
Okay.
So those guys do that as well. And so sometimes with some of those songs, whether it's a true story or something of fiction, it's coming from a place of, I've got an emotional release, it needs to come out, and this is the way that it came out.
Yeah, I love it. Love to see it. Speaking of which, you wrote a song on the record, and it's one of my favorites too.
Thank you.
What's it called?
Silence Over Sound.
Yes.
So that is one to me that I write a lot of music, but that was the first time, because it's hard to bring a song to a vocalist, because I don't sing. Well, I can sing, but not great. So I'm not going to be a lead vocalist on a track. So having someone else sing your words, your thoughts, your emotions, that's okay for me, that's easy. But for other people, sometimes it's not as easy for them to get into it. So I approached Adam, I said, hey, I have the song, and he really helped me kind of bring it to life. And that was, I had just gotten out of a 9+ year relationship. I had moved in a new place by myself, and then we went on tour for 3 days, and then COVID shut down, and I was by myself. And it was like, I'm single, my life feels like I'm starting my life over at this point, and I'm by myself, and I'm just alone with my thoughts, and like I just kind of had to get that out.
Yeah.
And that was where it came from lyrically. Musically, it was one of the first songs that I had recorded myself in Pro Tools, so it was one of those things where it kind of got away from me, and I was like, it ended up being almost 7 minutes long, and it has all this stuff in it. I was like, I wasn't in a recording studio wasting anybody else's time or money, so I was sitting there going like, wait a minute, did I just go off the rails? Like, no one's telling me like...
I mean,
bring it back.
You
so
did kind of go off the
yeah,
rails.
I did,
mean, that
but-
guitar solo is like
Yeah.
very like Kiss Scorpions energy,
Yeah,
which
definitely.
I love because the sound itself is kind of like Deftones
Yeah.
energy a little bit, and you really just like went for it.
Yeah.
I love.
Scorpions were
love
part of my
it.
formative high school guitar playing years.
Oh,
so,
I
guess
was right. I hit that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Some Still Loving You kind of vibes of that
Yes.
song. Yeah. But yeah, so musically, like I felt like no one was there to rein me in, so that's maybe why that song went where it went. And it's one of those things that when you're recording a song, it's hard to look outside of it and see what it is, what the final product would be like. I always often sometimes think about what if this iconic song that a band did, say it was the Beatles or the Stones or Red Hot Chili Peppers, what if they did something differently and it maybe didn't turn out that way? Not trying to compare us in any way to those bands, but when we record something as a musician, you look at something as it is art, it's subjective. What's good or bad, you don't really know until it's out for the public to hear and see it, and then you just like, because we have songs like on the album, Homewrecker is a perfect example. That is, the song itself is years old, but we couldn't find the right vibe for it. It actually had a more like grumpy old man blues rock kind of style that we were doing it, and we always went, this is just not right. And then after COVID kind of dissipated a little, and we sat there, we said, we got to do the album. Let's start jamming up some songs. And Adam's like, let's try this one again. And he did it. He's like, I'm gonna try a different beat. And he did a little bit more hip hop influenced beat. And as soon as he did that, I did sort of a Dr. Dre inspired kind of a riff to it. And then all of a sudden we thought, okay, this makes more sense. This is what the song is supposed to be. So, and once that happened, it just kind of went. And I think we're like much happier with the finished product. So long story short, for the whole thing, like you never really know how the product's going to turn out, but you kind of hope that you put your best foot forward, and this is what it's supposed to be. Is how I think. So Sounds Over Sound and Homewrecker ended up weaving in and out of different ideas and takes, but it ended up being which we think hopefully is the best version of what they are.
They truly are, and I really think, I've said it once and I'll say it again, this album was the comeback that you guys needed. It's been like more than a minute since you put out an album, and this just ticks all of the boxes. And it's just like, it's earwormy. Like I would just like catch myself singing like my couple of favorite songs. And also I'm telling the world about this. They put Wicked Game on this.
Come on, man. Interview, Nicholas.
Come in.
Come on, Nick. You can come in.
It's just, it's very... You have to listen to it. It's well done. It's everywhere.
And for all you kids out there, this shows you that...
But it's so good.
You can do this yourself, because this is the first album that we entirely recorded and produced by ourselves. We did it mostly in home studios using our own Pro Tools rigs. We recorded ourselves. Adam did the drums by himself at our studio in Santa Cruz. We've got a little loft, but all the guitar, bass parts, overdubs, everything we did, in our own little garages or spare bedrooms, stuff like that. And it sonically turned out great, I think, because the sort of pressure was off.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it does. I think sonically this is probably the best record we've done. I think that people have told us that it sounds like an Expendables record, like a traditional, like our original sort of type sound where we don't shy away from stuff. It's got rock, it's got reggae, it's got all of our sort of musical ADD influences all around it. It's definitely like there's country vibes, there's rock vibes,
very
there's
much
reggae
country.
Vibes,
The last like couple in the end, it's very like I'm drinking a beer in a boat on the river, like
absolutely,
energy. But then like especially Pleasure Point, like you could play that for someone that's never heard it before, and they would immediately be like, "Oh, that's an Expendables song."
Yeah, and I think
that's good.
That maybe this isn't for people like for music fans that are like us as band members. The way we listen to music is, like you could be in my car and you could hear big band jazz, you could hear heavy metal, you could hear every pretty much genre you could ever think of. We have that, and for those fans that like that, that's there. If you're not that, if you're just a rock fan or you're just a reggae fan or you're just a country fan, there's a track on there that you can put on a playlist that can match with it. So I think that's a good thing to have. Yeah,
it is. And that's like how, that's kind of how the American reggae movement is moving in general, just being a big amalgamation of a lot of different genres all threaded together by, the common theme of reggae-ish, and that they...
And we're not a reggae band. We're a band that has influences, and
Yeah.
some of them are reggae, some of them are rock, some of them are blues, some of them are surf, country, metal. It's all there. I think we never figured it out. We never had a favorite. It's like,
Yeah.
what's your favorite ice cream, man? I don't know. It's not pistachio, but I got lots of them.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, it's just very Expendable-esque, and I love it.
Neapolitan.
And
Neapolitan.
There's 3 flavors.
Okay, by the way,
Okay,
hold on. A lot of people like Neapolitan, but no one says my favorite is Neapolitan.
No.
That's the weirdest answer ever.
No.
or like Spumoni, the chocolate.
You know what Tupac's
strawberry
favorite ice cream?
pistachio. Have you ever had that? It's
Chocolate
weird.
pistachio?
No, it's chocolate strawberry pistachio. It's called Spumoni. It's like an East Coast.
I have had
item.
spumoni.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Anyway, I don't know how we got there, but if you haven't listened to Pleasure
We've
Point,
switched off to ice cream flavors now, so
at least it's
this
not
interview's gone off the
feet
rails.
pics conversation like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, that was told in confidence, and you did it on the interview where I said I was considering selling feet pics to make some side money. Because inflation is a killer these days in the music industry.
Santa Cruz is a very expensive place to live.
Stop
to
taking
set.
merch cuts, venues, thank you. No, so feet pics. Yeah, if I had beautiful feet, which I don't, I would sell feet pics for sure.
You should sell that picture that you showed me. That's like
Of my toe?
Yeah,
It's disgusting.
It's kind of gnarly. He dropped a weight on his toe. It's not pretty.
Broke my toe.
Oh, you actually broke it.
Well, I'm guessing. It's not healed, it's been weeks, so. I didn't go to the doctor.
They're not
They
gonna
said
do anything.
they're going to tape them together.
They're
so
going to tape them together and
I
give
did
you Vicodin.
I did the buddy
Yes.
tape. They're taped
Yes.
together. Vicodin.
They did for
Vicodin.
me when I broke my toe.
I have Advil.
That sucks. Your doctor's not the best.
Well, I didn't go to the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell my wife because she's mad that I'm on her insurance and I don't use it. So. Let's be honest. I'm a loser musician. My wife is awesome, and I'm an idiot. So let's. Sorry, honey. I love you.
What an ending quote.
Spumoni.
If you haven't listened to Pleasure Point, stream it now, please.
Grab
You
yourself
will
a
not-
pint of Spumoni.
You will not regret
Listen-
it.
Stream the album.
Yes. Out.